Hi, everyone. It's Bob Perkins bringing you another AAISP Inside Sales Studio Monday Morning Sales Minute. I'm here with Kathleen Glass, our special guest. How are you, Kathleen?
I'm fine. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning. And Kathleen is not only the president of the San Diego chapter, she's on our own advisory board and heads up a founder of a company called Oinky Domio. And today, we're going to dig into something we haven't had on the studio yet, and that has to do with data privacy and compliance. Many of us have heard about the GDPR in Europe, and recently California amended a Data Privacy Act. So it's really important. And, Kathleen has been through some interesting issues with it and have helped people. And she's here today to kind of share some information and some guidance. So thank you very much, Kathleen, and all yours.
Thanks, Bob. I'm glad that we get to have a chance to talk about data privacy compliance. And why is that important? GDPR is over there in Europe. Well, I'll bet that most of our members have some presence or selling to somebody in Europe, and so it's been fun. We'll have another minute because I got to talk to some of the folks in the UK, and GDPR has changed how they're doing selling and their relationship with marketing. I thought the great comment was, it gave them an opportunity to work more closely between sales and marketing. So here's another great opportunity for sales and marketing alignment. It's privacy acts. So so why do we care about that? That was over a year ago that GDPR took place. Well, what's happening is that momentum has come over here to the United States, and we haven't been able to enact a federal law yet like that one. But what we're seeing is state by state, states are taking up this championing of consumer privacy rights. And so January 1 of this coming year, we have CCPA, which is the California Consumer Privacy Act. And it's not just for consumers, it's for everybody. So if you're selling to consumers or if you're selling to business, this is going to impact us. So I want all of our sales listeners and sales leaders to be cognizant that this is coming up and how to help make sure we're complying.
And Kathleen, do I understand it correctly that New York is state of New York is kind of thinking about the same thing?
Oh, many of the states.
Many
Nevada,
states.
Nevada has already passed theirs, actually last month, and I think there's about 14 different states that have something pending already,
Wow.
and so it's going to be very hectic.
And then can you distill down what should inside sales leaders be thinking about now as they prep for this?
There are a number of things that I want inside sales leaders to be thinking about. One is, I think this is going to change, well, we already said work with marketing, right?
Yeah.
It's going to change your sales stack and your third-party vendors. Yeah, I mean, think about how many vendors we have in the sales stack. What is it? Thousands now, right? Vendor Neutral's got that whole list and all those guys. So there are vendors that absolutely, I can guarantee you, are not going to be compliant. This is having a big ramification in the sales tech and ad tech world. Make sure your vendors are compliant. Make sure they're not scraping data. There are laws where your consumers will be able to opt out of the sale of their data. And you're like, well, I'm not selling data. Yes, but did your vendor give you data that was allowed and opted in, and vice versa? How's that chain up and down?
What are anything new? I mean, we've always given people the ability to unsubscribe, right? Now you're saying opting out of any type of data being shared, so it's completely private, right?
Yeah.
And so that's different than how some technologies work today, correct?
It does. I worked on a project that was quite complex, where we had our CRM and we had multiple instances for the different divisions in the CRM, Salesforce, and then outreach. And it was really interesting. I mean, that was just two systems, and it was very interesting thinking about how did the consent, which you're going to hear that word consent a lot.
Okay. Right.
Did I give my consent? How does the consent at the front end work? And then when I'm opting out or I'm unsubscribing, how did that trickle down through those systems? How did the Salesforce, how did your outreach and your Salesforce do that handoff? Are we making sure that our systems are really well integrated? So that's happening. And then also being able to send that off to a third-party vendor as well, because that's another requirement that CCPA has, is
Yeah.
that you're not just opting out of that one system. It has to be everybody that it has shared your name up and down the stream.
Now, I know there are a lot of components to this, and it could be kind of overwhelming, right? Do you have any advice on where the VP of Inside Sales or VP of Marketing, where they can go to learn more, to make sure that they're maybe getting HR or legal involved? What should they be doing? Where
Yeah,
to go?
that's a good point. Yeah, because you're not alone. One
Yeah.
of the things that this is creating like a culture of privacy inside. So
Hmm.
privacy is not the responsibility of just one person or one
Yeah.
team. It's you really do go talk to your general counsel. A lot of companies now have a data privacy officer, but again, that data
Okay.
privacy officer, their responsibility is to bring together the different stakeholders: sales, marketing, legal, HR, accounting. I mean, it's going to impact all of our systems.
Yeah.
And then as an individual sales rep, what I want you to do is be cognizant that this is your opportunity to be doing your outreach correctly, right? Is it targeted? Is this person really opted in? Are they likely to be your target audience? Did you get this data from a good source? My beef is no more cheap lists. You're not going to be able to buy those lists from those anonymous people that send you emails. Hey, would you like such and such user list? No, that's not going to be okay anymore.
Is the California Data Privacy Compliant Act, is that a good place to start? And can they find that online?
Yes, in fact, I read all of those pages. The AG, the Attorney General, just actually put out just a couple days ago, put out the most recent iteration of that. So that was a really fun reading, afternoon reading for Sunday.
Yeah.
You don't have to read the full act. I've been seeing good stuff in eMarketer. They've been running a
Okay.
number of different webinars. I saw a couple of different webinars on Bright Talk. I would look at IAPP. There's an International Association of Privacy Professionals. They've got some good news feeds and up to date. So they've got a listing of all the different states that are now queued up with privacy acts as well.
And in your company, I know you work with leaders and sales professionals on inside sale roles and competencies and all that. But do you also get involved with helping people around this topic
Yes,
as
actually,
well?
this has become a real passion of mine, and I
Mm.
think that I just posted on LinkedIn. I really want uh, the sales and marketing professionals to be paying more attention to this. I'm really not seeing that level of awareness yet.
Yet.
Yet. I mean, it's just January is around the corner,
Yeah.
right? And the AG, the data was at somewhere between, this is such a huge statistic, somewhere between 15,000 and 400,000 companies will be affected.
Wow.
So, you're not going to be too big for it to affect you.
Or too small,
Or too
really,
small.
all sizes. So, best way for viewers who want to work with you or talk more about this with you, best way for them to contact you.
You can always contact me through LinkedIn. That
Mhm.
works out really well.
All right, Kathleen, thanks so much. Hope everyone has a great rest of the week. Good selling. Take care.
Thanks, Bob. Take care.